Sorey is a 17-year-old boy who became an orphan after the destruction of his village, Camlann. He was then adopted by a seraph named Zenrus and grew up in the village of Alisha, which is a home of divine beings called Seraphim, where he is the only human among them. One day, while exploring some ruins, Sorey meets a girl who identifies him as the shepherd, the only one who has the power to defeat the Lord of Calamity. In ancient times, Seraphims were worshipped by humanity because they used to save people from darkness by using their powers of fire, earth, water, and air. Humans and Seraphims lived together in harmony for a long time, but humans started to fight each other, causing calamity, generating negative emotions and impurity known as malevolence. This malevolence can transform any living and dead human into monsters called Hellions. As a result, their connection with Seraphim was shattered. Humans are now unable to see or hear Seraphims, and only the noble one called Shepherd can see and interact with them. As a child, Sorey came into possession of a book called the Celestial Record, and from that point on, he was fascinated with ancient ruins. One day, Sorey ventures out along with his best friend Mikleo, the Seraph of Water, and finds a sealed ruin. He believes that the sealed ruin is the capital of Seraphim, where humans and Seraphim used to live together, so they decide to explore it. But his gramp Zenrus appears and forbids them from exploring the ruin. Later, he tells Mikleo about the legends mentioned in the Celestial Record of Shepherd's arrival, when the world will be in danger, to bridge the connection between humans and Seraphim. The two sneak into ruins, where Sorey finds many ancient murals. Suddenly darkness covers the cloud and lightning strikes them. They run and dodge lightning, but both accidentally fall into the pit, where they find an unconscious human girl named Alisha. After waking up, Alisha asks Sorey if he is a shepherd, and tells him that she is in desperate need of Shepherd's help to save the world engulfed with darkness from calamities. Sorey brings her to his village, Elysia. She pleads to the Seraphims for help, even though she can't see and hear them. But her plea seems to go unheard, making her question the legends of Seraphim. All villagers and his gramps instruct Sorey to send Alisha back before she brings calamity to their village. But then he convinces Gramps to let her stay because he wants to waifu her, help her. In the following days, he spends his time with Alisha and learns that she lives in Lady Lake, the capital of Hayland, where the Legend of Sacred Blade Festival takes place. In this festival, people participate in the Trial of Blade, in which whoever takes out the sacred blade will become the shepherd, but nobody has taken it out as of yet. One day, Sorey learns that Alisha has lost her friends because of the chaos in the world. He tells her that the prophecies of the Celestial Records are real, giving her hope, and reveals he dreams of investigating ancient ruins all over the world, so he can once again reunite humans and Seraphim. Before leaving, Alisha reveals that she trusts the legends more now after feeling the presence of Seraphim in the village. After she leaves, a Hellion intrudes into their village. Sorey and Mikleo chase after the intruder and stop Hellion from killing a Seraphim. Sorey charges forward to strike Hellion with his sword, but Hellion chokes him and throws him around after dodging his attack. Mikleo interrupts Hellion from attacking Sorey using his magical icicles. Sorey takes this chance and corners Hellion by landing a heavy blow in his stomach, but Hellion runs away. Later, Sorey realizes that Hellion's true target was Alisha and decides to leave his village to save her. Mikleo joins him in his journey and shows him Alisha's blade he found in ruin earlier. It has a royal crest on it, meaning she is most probably a princess. Sorey and Mikleo reach the capital of Hayland, Lady Lake, with the help of a girl named Rose, who gives them a merchant pass, allowing them to enter any city freely. They are both amazed after seeing the beautiful city and lively people enjoying the Sacred Blade Festival. Later, they encounter the Hellion, who was after Alisha, and decide to chase him. Before running away, he reveals to them that Princess Alisha is the target of assassination, so he is not the only one they should look out for. Sorey and Mikleo enter the palace where the Trial of Blade is being held. He notices that no human except him can see the Lady of the Lake, a seraph of fire residing beside the blade. When the final trial of the festival ends, Alisha announces to the crowd that they will not fight with their neighbor Rollins. They will only strike back when Rollins attacks them first. The malevolence inside the palace increases after hearing her speech because of the disappointment and fear in the audience. Suddenly, Hellion, engulfed in flames, breaks into the palace due to the intense malevolence around. Sorey quickly approaches Alisha to protect her from the assassin, but she asks him to deal with Hellion instead. Sorey asks the Lady of the Lake named Layla to help him, but she tells him that only Shepherd can purify Hellions. He then realizes that his dream aligns with what Shepherd is supposed to do, and decides to pull out the blade. forming an ancient contract with Layla, making her a sub-lord and him a shepherd's vessel, meaning he can use the abilities like purification, sensing malevolence, and other powers beyond humankind by calling sub-lords by their ancient name given by him. After becoming a shepherd, Sorey unleashes his true power and strikes Hellion with his sword engulfed in flames, and then purifies the Hellion by using his flaming sword. He then collapses after the battle due to excessive use of power. He wakes up and Alisha gives him the shepherd's attire as a gift to show gratitude for saving them from Hellion's attack. Sorey introduces Mikleo and Layla to her but realizes that she can't see or hear them. Under Layla's guidance, he starts to concentrate while holding Alisha's hand, managing to let Alisha communicate with Layla and Mikleo for a short time. Sorey and his group go out into town where he notices that streets are filled with banners bearing Shepherd's crest, making him realize the burden and hope Shepherd carries alone. Suddenly, Sorey feels nauseated and dizzy after sensing a powerful malevolence in the town. He looks around and finds a sealed ruin where the malevolence is coming from. He unlocks the door of the ruins with Alisha's royal sword, and the group enters the ruins, but Hellion bats suddenly attack them. Sorey disperses them with the power of his sword, whereas Layla successfully purifies them with her power of flames. After dealing with Hellion bats, they find the bones of dead people, who were secretly killed for rebelling against the royal family. Their strong desire for revenge and grudges are the source of malevolence in the town. Layla tells Sorey that Shepherd's true goal is to purify the creator of Hellions, and the source of malevolence called the Lord of Calamity, who can change the world with his abnormal amount of malevolence. She suggests that he should prepare and find solutions to deal with the Lord of Calamity before facing him in the future. Suddenly, the earth beneath Lady Lake starts to be disrupted due to the excessive presence of malevolence. They escape from the ruin and find a dragon inside the tornado. Sorey tries to stop the dragon from reaching the castle, but fortunately, the dragon leaves the town, making everyone think that Sorey chased it away. Later, Sorey meets Alisha and learns that she is going to Marlin to help people who are inflicted by the plague. He reveals his next destination to her, Rayfolk's Spirit Crest, where he can find more clues regarding dragons. The next day, Sorey finds out that Mikleo left Lady Lake to get the legendary divine artifact so he can protect him. Sorey understands his reasons and decides to go to continue his next destination with Layla. Sorey and Layla reach Rayfolk and meet Edna, the Seraph of the Earth who is being attacked by Hellion. Edna uses her earth power to defeat Hellion, but the Hellion stands up again. Sorey then steps forward and strikes Hellion with his flaming sword multiple times to purify him, but then realizes his attacks are not affecting the Hellion because of the strong malevolence. Zavade, the Seraph of Air, appears and interrupts their fight by killing and burning Hellion using his gun. Suddenly, a dragon appears to attack them. Zavade reveals that this dragon is Edna's brother, Izan, who he truly wants to kill. Layla informs Sorey that he can't purify Izan, because he has become a fully manifested dragon with strong malevolence. He saves Edna from the dragon attack and takes her to a safe place. There, she explains to him that Izan was a Seraphim who used to love humans, but one day he suddenly became a dragon. Sorey becomes determined to find a way to purify the Hellion, and intervenes in Zavade and Izan's fight. He fiercely attacks the dragon with his blade multiple times, but gets injured when Izan slams him into a cliff. Despite his weak state, he rushes to save Edna from the dragon's fire breathing, but notices that Izan has stopped breathing fire because he is hesitant to attack his sister and flies away from the scene. After this fight, Zavade promises that he will not kill Izan unless Edna gives up on bringing him back. Edna agrees to form an ancient contract with Sorey to become his sub-lord, and in return, Sorey must find a way to purify her brother. The trio then sets off to their next destination, Rollins, where according to legends, people used to worship dragons as gods in ancient times. On his way, Sorey meets Alisha's companions and assists them in fighting a Hellion who is causing a storm. Sorey forms a rock shield on his arms to protect himself and hits the Hellion with a heavy punch while dodging his water ball's attack. Suddenly, a young dragon called Drake appears and injures the Hellion by attacking him. Young dragons can be purified, so Sorey lands his finishing blow on Hellion and rushes forward to purify the Drake. But the Drake manages to fly away. Sorey finds out where the Drake is heading and then goes to Marland. He notices a huge amount of malevolence in this city and deduces that the plague is caused by the Drake. Sorey meets Alisha and discovers that his resonance has improved. People can now hear the Seraphim easily in his presence. Alisha breaks down in front of him and tells him nothing seems to be working in curing the plague. Suddenly, the Drake appears again, who is now on the verge of becoming a full dragon. Sorey blocks Drake's fireballs with his sword and jumps forward to strike him, but the Drake attacks Layla with his fireballs, forcing Sorey to put himself in danger to protect her. Suddenly, Mikleo appears with his divine artifact, a bow, and blocks the flames with its powers. Mikleo agrees to form an ancient contract with Sorey. Sorey gets a new buff form and uses his newly gained bow to shoot the Drake with its beaming arrow, successfully purifying him. Later, Alisha informs Sorey that Counselor Bartlow has ordered the troops to march toward Glaven Basin, the border between Hayland and Rollins, in order to incite war. Sorey decides to join Alisha in her journey to stop the war, but Layla tries to stop him, because war will have lots of malevolence created from grief and pain, which may engulf Sorey into the dark side of the Force. On his way, Sorey encounters a Helionized human who is filled with malevolence due to the guilt of killing someone. Sorey purifies the human Hellion and starts feeling sentimental in the process. But this incident only makes his resolve of stopping the war even stronger, because he doesn't want people to fall into malevolence and calamity. Sorey with Alisha and her troops then heads towards Glaven Basin. On their way, Sorey tells Alisha that he will only help her to stop the war from starting in order to fulfill his duty as a shepherd. But if war breaks out, he will not take anyone's side. Later at night, Mikleo asks Sorey to take a break from his shepherd's duty and invites him to explore a nearby ruin. After reaching Glaven Basin, Sorey witnesses the chaos and destruction of war, and gets shocked by seeing how thousands of soldiers are contributing to the creation of Hellions with their malevolence. Sorey feels discomfort with the overflowing malevolence, but still jumps into the battlefield with his sublords to purify every Hellion. He first strikes Hellions with his flaming sword to burn them, and then uses his earth power to punch them with his rock shield. In the end, he attacks Hellions with his Arrow Squall move, which shoots purification arrows at all Hellions, and as a result, it successfully purifies each and every single one of them. Afterward, Sorey with his weakened self goes to the other side of the battlefield. There, he spots a human Hellion with an unimaginable amount of malevolence, and deduces that it is the Lord of Calamity named Heldalf. Sorey strikes him with his blade to purify him, and sees a glimpse of his human form hidden beneath his malevolence. Sorey then unleashes all his powerful moves and techniques to attack him, but realizes that his powers have no effect on the Lord of Calamity. Heldalf summons countless Hellions and challenges him to survive their malevolence. Sorey tries to protect himself while using his flaming sword, but starts to get exhausted after trying to purify the countless amount of Hellions. Heldalf starts mocking him, but Sorey continues to fight back, while claiming he will purify the whole world. After seeing Sorey's stubbornness, Heldalf decides to leave, claiming that he will allow Sorey to become the people's hope in order to crush him and bring the ultimate despair. Sorey's sublords help him disperse the remaining Hellions, and as a result, he finally manages to purify Hellions. After the war ends, Sorey learns about Alisha's injury and runs back to see her. He asks her to become his squire, so that both can help each other to prevent wars from happening in the world. Alisha accepts his offer and forms an ancient contract with him. As a result, she gains the ability to see the Seraphims and starts shedding tears of joy. In the next day, the Hellion responsible for injuring Alisha comes to attack him before he parts away, and Sorey starts losing himself to the anger but quickly starts to control his emotions and purifies the Hellion. Rose then joins him on his next adventure to become stronger and defeat Heldalf. Watch this next video. See you on the next one.